Let's analyze a popular online traffic accident video. This accident was discussed in the last analysis. Now there's a resolution. The parties involved agreed with my suggestions. The traffic police processed an accident report. The construction company also acknowledged their fault. Then they negotiated. The compensation has been agreed upon. This matter is considered resolved. Then my video can be helpful to everyone. I'm very happy, but I still hope everyone travels safely. Dealing with the accident is secondary. The main thing is to avoid accidents as much as possible. Let's start today's main video. This video is a bit long, so I won't play the full video. Let me summarize. The driver of the car in the video was driving on the road and encountered a car on the left. There was a person on the right. Then, a minor collision occurred with the person on the right. Very minor. The car with the camera didn't even notice. As a result, this person chased after them and stopped the car, saying they were hit, demanding compensation. Then the observant viewers can see. Isn't this the same car? Combining this with the pedestrian's demands for cigarettes, the driver judged it to be a scam. After that, the police were called. The police also launched an investigation. It can be basically confirmed that this is a scam group. This kind of road situation is actually very common. But there are always people who have ill intentions. The importance of the recorder is now demonstrated again. Feeling that something is wrong after the accident, report it to the police first, especially those who don't go to the hospital and don't go through the proper procedures. Just asking for money. Be extra careful. Let's take a look at the next video. The car in the video turns right, and there's a black car illegally parked in the intersection. The black car starts up and collides with the turning car in the video. The car in the video is deemed to be of secondary responsibility, and the starting vehicle should pay attention and observe. Ensure safety before starting. This regulation is not explicitly stated in the law, but many local regulations have made detailed provisions, like Yunnan and Guizhou, Shandong, Hunan, Heilongjiang, and many other provinces have clearly stipulated. Starting vehicles must turn on their turn signals in advance. Pay attention to avoid pedestrians and vehicles. So, compared to other vehicles, the starting vehicle doesn't have the right of way, then the responsibility is obviously greater. As for the secondary responsibility of the video vehicle, I can only say it conforms to free materials in the program. A versatile Article 22 can be applied to the vast majority of traffic accidents, but I personally think the vehicle damage is insignificant. Just divide all responsibilities if the cause of the accident is undisputed. Simple and clear, and it facilitates subsequent processing. Also, it can teach the illegally parked car a lesson. As for the vehicle in the video, I really can't find fault assigning a minor responsibility. I can only say that there are no problems procedurally, but it's really a bit unfair. Let's continue to watch other videos. That accident is also a very classic case. A car coming out of the underground garage collided with a vehicle driving straight. In fact, the white car is more responsible. We must first be clear about one point, which is that the white car drove out of the underground garage. Strictly speaking, this isn't an intersection. It's not an intersection. So, it's a case of a vehicle entering the road from off-road. Vehicles off the road should yield to those on the road. From this, we can determine that the black car has the right of way. The black car side has a broken line in the middle. Broken lines can be crossed. You can also pass by borrowing a lane when there are no oncoming vehicles. The white car is not a vehicle in the opposite lane. Therefore, the black car's behavior of driving in the opposite lane is permitted. But I am against road right supremacy. Since it was posted online, he wants to get justice. Then the fault must be clearly and specifically defined. The black car had actually already discovered the white car's presence, and has already turned the steering wheel to the right, made avoidance measures, but did not completely avoid it. It has always been driving on the line. That crossing the line is a dangerous behavior. Occupying the road also reduces traffic efficiency. Obviously, it should be prohibited. Then the black car has enough conditions to completely change lanes. But here, whether it's inadequate observation, or crossing the line, or improper operation, can all be classified as a secondary responsibility. At most, no more than equal responsibility. After all, the right-of-way is still with the black car. Let's also talk about what right-of-way supremacy is. Relying on their right-of-way, they drive recklessly, without any consideration for the principle of avoiding accidents. After a collision, they still claim they are not responsible. They even promote a distorted view that having right-of-way means no responsibility. This is a twisted understanding of the law. This often manifests when the party with the right-of-way is assigned partial responsibility. Then they start saying, why should my right-of-way only result in full responsibility or no responsibility? There's no partial responsibility, etc. Illogical statements. I am against this right-of-way supremacy. Having the right-of-way doesn't mean you don't have to bear responsibility, nor does it mean you're not at fault. It's okay if you don't want to listen. After all, this series isn't for all ages. Professional content, content that attracts the attention of peers. Then it will attract viewers to watch the next video. The title of the video asks who is more responsible. That's actually an introductory question about responsibility division. But judging from the comments section, it's far from being well understood. Remember that right turns yield to left turns. Let's understand it differently. The car in the video is turning left. It's the one allowed to proceed by the green light. Then the one allowed to proceed is naturally prioritized. The same applies in places without traffic lights, because left turns take up more time at the intersection. If left turns don't have priority, then they'll have to queue at the intersection, thus affecting traffic efficiency even more. Right turns occupy very little road space, so right turns must yield to left turns. Something that we consider common knowledge. Many people simply don't know. Then, incorporating the large population base in China, you can get a huge number. Okay, it's scary just thinking about it. Now let's adjust our mood. Let's watch a different video. There are no good Samaritans. Those who run high and slow. You're amazing. It's infuriating and funny. Now you know what they mean by one after another, right? That's still a classic case. The non-motorized vehicle lane is blocked. Then non-motorized vehicles can use adjacent lanes to pass. It's clearly written in the law. Other vehicles have to yield when they see them. In other words, even though the electric bike is changing lanes here, it still has the right of way. But this kind of responsibility allocation is actually rare. In many places, it's directly calculated based on lane changes affecting straight travel. There was an accident before, and the car was deemed responsible. Later, it was reviewed, and the electric bike was deemed responsible. So, I think since the law has already clarified this situation, then just follow the law. As for the other party not looking back, turning without signaling, this action is obviously at fault. Of course, they can also bear up to, but no more than equal responsibility. Well, there's actually another method. That is, you can bring in the illegally parked vehicles to share accident responsibility. That, on the one hand, reduces the economic burden on other drivers, and can also make these illegally parked guys remember, handle it several times, and then promote it vigorously. It can reduce the occurrence of parking violation accidents to a certain extent. Well, of course, this is just my personal ideal. Let's continue with a classic case, a very minor collision. If the driver didn't notice the accident, can it be considered a hit and run? It depends on a few factors. Did the person who left the scene clearly know there was an accident? Was there any drunk driving or driving without a license, etc.? Is the insurance complete? Did they change drivers to handle it, and so on? The law regarding hit and run clearly states that if one knows an accident has occurred and leaves the scene to avoid responsibility, it is considered a hit and run. Now let's look at this accident. To be honest, the collision was very minor. It was just a slight scrape. The driver's attention was focused ahead, and it would be difficult for them to subjectively notice such a minor collision. It can basically be determined that the driver did not know. Then we'll verify the driver's situation. Is the insurance sufficient? Are there any other illegal behaviors? Then we can determine whether the driver had a reason to flee. For this kind of minor collision suspected of fleeing, that requires investigators to put in the effort to study. We need to know what part of the car was hit. What was the force of the collision? The people in the car would feel it. It requires a high degree of professionalism. Like this accident in the video, if the white car driver has no issues, no non-licenses, no unlicensed insurance, and the coverage is sufficient, then he really has no reason to flee. So I don't think it's a hit and run. But if there are other illegal behaviors, then we'll see. After all, there are too many reversals in online videos. I don't want to say too much. Well, this video is a bit long. So, taking this accident as an example, I'll ramble on a bit more. When you're at a low point in life, you should pay even more attention to safety and health. After all, misfortune often targets those who are already struggling. The young girl had an accident the first time she set up her stall. That makes me think of many electric bike drivers who consult me. Most of them have accidents. Facing compensation, I'm truly powerless. There was a guy who hadn't even graduated yet. He knocked someone down while overtaking in the non-motorized vehicle lane. Conservatively estimated, the compensation is 200,000 yuan. He's in debt before even having a job. And some families have poor financial situations. They borrow money to ask me for advice, asking if I can help them reduce their responsibility. This video also doesn't really explain things clearly. I really can't do anything. I've mentioned before that I want to release the defensive driving for non-motorized vehicles, but I'm the only one working on this account. I'm really too busy. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. I can only hope that everyone actively avoids traffic accidents as much as possible, especially electric bikes. They don't have insurance, and they don't have any safety measures. When something happens, it's either a minor scratch or a very serious fall. If conditions permit, who would want to spend all day riding an electric bike through the streets and alleys? So we still need to pay more attention to safety. The original family conditions were not good. An accident can completely ruin them. I am not sleeping in traffic accidents. I'm the Chue. See you next time.